Good evening, everyone. About 7 o'clock. And I'm just starting work on the bus. I did a material run. I went to Lowe's, I went to Home Depot. I was looking online. I did a bunch of researching.
We're living life on the road in a vintage bus.
Hi, I'm Victor.
And I'm Andrea. Our journey began in illness, searching for places we could heal.
We don't know where we're going, but we're finding moments of joy along the way. I got some stuff, a lot of problem solving, trying to figure out what the right thing is that I need for this or that, or the plumbing stuff, which fitting fits into the shower pan, which size drain lines. I needed the P-trap for the shower plumbing. I'm thinking ahead to doing a shower system where we can shower pretty much unlimited on a very small amount of water, like it recirculates and filters, and so getting some of the parts for that so that I built the system so that I can easily expand it to that. That's not going to be done before we hit the road. Now really getting into the nitty-gritty of the mechanicals. I did some testing of the air system. The air is leaking out of our bus is not really safe. It doesn't give enough of a leeway for other lines breaking or something happening, and then having enough air in the system to maintain braking at least. So starting to really focus on that, which means I'm not doing the other stuff. So the end of day 12, I have to look at the calendar and do math, because I spent probably 3 or 4 hours via text and on the phone to finalize the car trade-in so that we can get the Jeep, which can be flat-towed. The Kia that we have now is a front-wheel drive, and we cannot tow that behind the bus with 4 wheels down on the ground, or flat tow. So we have to drive separately, or have a dolly, or have it on a trailer. Which a dolly is just a trailer with one axle, and the front wheels of the car drive up on the ramps that are attached to it, and the car gets strapped down on that. And so you're pulling a little, basically, axle. It's a little trailer behind the bus. I don't want to have to pull a trailer and deal with parking, or if I have to back up, or worry about not being able to back up, right? Because there's a trailer on the back. And you can't back up with a car on a dolly, as far as I know. So that's been the push for the last couple of days, realizing that we could swing this shuffle. So we added that onto our plates, and I didn't do an update yesterday, day 13, because so much going on. So right now I'm going to try connecting my air compressor to the auxiliary input of the bus and see if I can put air into the system without the motor running, so that I can hear where air is leaking. Then tomorrow the plan is to possibly do a test drive, depending on how the system is, and then also move it around here on the property a little bit so that it is more level, so that I can jack it up and get underneath safely, and start to really tear into what needs done to make it roadworthy before we have to leave for 12 days. I just spent an hour and 20 minutes on the phone with a bus nut, former, maybe current bus owner that has had 2 of our buses, the MC9, one of them exactly the same year and one older. And he was kind enough to take time and walk me through stuff, and just really answer questions and prioritize, and really clarified a lot of stuff. I can't even articulate how much of a relief it is to have that kind of I don't know, support or collaboration. The community, this is one reason that we're really excited about getting out and being around other nomads and the bus community. Everybody helps everybody. It's like the old days, you know? And it's so refreshing that people are just willing to spend their time and share their knowledge. So he gave me leads on where to get parts, where I can get parts locally, all kinds of stuff like that. So what I'm going to do now is one thing that we talked about and he suggested, which is to pressure wash this motor, because we have a power steering leak. Right there is the power steering reservoir. And let me move around here. It's, you know, it's just coated and caked on there. So I'm going to use a degreaser and tackle this area. Going to be making some ramps so that I can drive this thing up and get underneath it. You know, it can be 3-4 inches off the ground, like it would crush you, and it has crushed. People have died with that. So it's really you cannot be too careful about how you get under a bus to work on it. So much less good. This is all gone.
That's not good.
Yeah, it's completely rusted out here. I mean, this isn't structural, but still.
Wow.
I have a plan, have some priorities, and we're gonna get this thing roadworthy. So, and then we'll see about the rest of the conversion stuff. I have to go to Lowe's, and I have tools with me. I have a couple of cordless sawzall, and a skill saw, because I need to be cutting 6x6, 5.5 inches thick. My saw only cuts 2.5, so I'm half an inch short if I cut from both sides. So I need to cut that last half inch. So focused on solving these mechanical issues and all of the basic stuff, so we can ideally have some water and a toilet and some electricity and be able to use the propane stove while we do this trip. And obviously the priority is being able to drive the bus safely, so I've switched my energy to that pretty much exclusively. And although I did order a part for the toilet, I'm converting gray tank into combination gray black, and I needed going for a ride there. I needed a fitting for that, so I ordered that. That's coming on the 27th, 28th, which gives me time to continue working on the bus stuff. And once I get these ramps made to get the bus up on the ramps, then I can get under the back and do some more diagnostics and find out what other parts I need, and then start to chase down prices on those parts and get working on replacing them. So it feels really good to have plan and a kind of, priority list of stuff with the mechanicals that I can start to get knocked off and eliminate, do some troubleshooting and then really hone in on what's an issue and what isn't. So anyway, I have to get some wrenches at Harbor Freight because I don't have ones that I need for some of the fittings for the air system. And so tools and materials, the investments continue, but it's no different. I mean, it's different, but it's the same idea as buying a house. You always have stuff you need to buy to furnish it, to maintain it, So in this case, it's a combination of a house and a vehicle. So you have both sets of systems that need their tools and maintenance stuff. I'm seeing where this bus mechanically has not been regularly maintained at all. Really, it's not a surprise, but it's kind of worse than I expected, I guess. It's just people who were like, oh, this doesn't matter, oh, I don't know how to do that, I don't want to learn, and it's not a problem right now, so let me focus on something else.
By this point, you may be thinking that this bus project is ridiculously huge and a little crazy. Maybe. But it also made so much sense to us. I worked as a real estate agent for several years and saw many fixer-uppers. Before we identified mold as a core problem, we seriously considered buying a fixer and renovating it. Victor loves a project like that, and I was excited at the idea too. We looked at several houses and had a lot of fantasies about what we might do with them. We also considered land that was ready for RV hookups and looked into what living in a wall tent with a stove for heat might be like. We were considering all our options heavily. Any of these projects would have been as much work as the bus or more, and as expensive as the bus or more. When the concept of a house on wheels dawned on us, it felt like the absolute best option to help our teenagers see some new horizons and the varying cultures across the U.S. It was thoughts like this that helped us keep things in perspective when the work felt insurmountable.
And last night I got these guys done. That's 6 feet long, just over 11 inches wide. I don't know how much they weigh, a lot. I gotta finish up this one, get the plywood there for it. I'm gonna put the block, if I'm gonna use one, probably. I might not on these, I don't know. And then I've got the screws to attach these two together and get that handle on there so I can drag it around. And then get the bus aired up and on it. We've got 2 days of rain coming from this hurricane that came through, was coming through off the coast. And I'm trying to figure out what I can do. Well, it's raining and cold, like yucky, 50 degrees and an inch of rain over the 2 days or something. So I can't let it slow me down. And so I need to, once this car shuffle happens, I gotta call and see if I can track down some parts locally. If they're not available, then I need to order them on Amazon. And you see the car behind me there. I've got the plate off as they requested. Got it cleaned out. Everything's good to go. So they should be here shortly. And yeah, there's the bus. It's been a good car. We're going back 2 model years to 17 instead of 19, and we're going up in miles. But we can tow it. The Jeep can be towed 4 wheels down. So that is that's why we're doing it. So still a lot to do. I have parts. I can build the battery, the plywood box for the battery. I have the frame rails, the rack rails for the server rack battery. So I'm thinking I will do that while it's raining if I don't have parts. I'll see about parts I need. I get the bus up on the blocks today and get under the back, the drive axle and the tag axle, and see if I can find issues in there. Also, while it's aired up, I might see if there's I have from a Facebook group a suggestion to check a check valve, which is at the output of the compressor, which runs off of the motor all the time. It keeps air from pressure in the air system, the brakes and the auxiliary air system from pushing back on the compressor. So the compressor isn't starting against that. When it, when it airs up, it gets up to like 120 psi, and then the compressor shuts off until it's needed again. Keeps pumping, but there's a mechanism that shuts it off. So there's a fairly inexpensive part that's the governor on the compressor that I'm going to change out, and then I want to do this diagnostic test, but that means that the bus needs to be aired up. So I need to run it. So when I run it, I will get it up on ramps. I'm not sure if I'm going to move it across the driveway here. Oops, I'm going to go behind me here, sort of towards the car. So yeah, in this space here up to the grass. If it's more level than where the bus is now, this is a little bit of a downhill slope, a little hard to see. So I really want to work on it in level ground as much as possible. So yeah, just trying to get as much done as quickly as possible. And so I will check in a little later. I need to get some work done here with getting some of these ramps together. This is Jeep coming up the drive right down there. See it through the trees. Exciting. Oh, he's gonna back in. Okay. Interesting. the red theme.
Really good car.
As we learned more about the mechanics of the bus, we began to realize how severely compromised it was.
Didn't move very far.
No. Far up am I?
You're not even on it, really.
Oh, really?
Like an inch. Now you're on it. Okay. Good, a third of the way. Okay, keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. You're almost at the flat.
Back up.
First of all, it shouldn't be so difficult for Victor to drive it forward up the ramps. It should roll easily. Something was seized. Maybe an air brake wasn't releasing fully. At the time, we didn't have the awareness to know all of the things it could be.
I can't get a little support into the battery wheels just to...
Yeah. I can hear the wood cracking a little bit.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Once it was up on the ramps, we were able to see underneath it. The bus was used as an intercity coach bus in the Midwest, where winters are severe and salt is used heavily. On top of that, it was not maintained well over the years. Let's just say the Rusty Raven was the perfect name. The rust was frighteningly extensive. When Victor went to Indiana to buy it, he couldn't look closely underneath it. Had we known more about all of this, he would have had an inspection done before buying it. Live and learn, right? So, we'd spent most of our money on this rusty old thing, poured all of our hopes into it. We had to keep going. But driving it to Utah without addressing some of the issues that were beginning to emerge was starting to feel a bit scary. In retrospect, we are so lucky that Victor was able to drive it 600 miles from Indiana to Pennsylvania without a problem.
Seems like that valve is leaking right now. The bus is warmed up, running, aired up, and it's still doing it. Air dryer just vented at 120 psi, and there's a residual leak, so the valve is not closing completely consistently. So I found that locally. I'm going to buy that probably tomorrow. And the desiccant. Good afternoon, everybody. It's I think it's day 9. I don't even know. I have to look at the calendar and see. 7. Day 8. Day 8. I'm getting slowed down because of tropical storm Ophelia hitting, and we've got rain today. It's cold. I've got my flannel, my fleece on and zipped up even. Get the wick out of the way. Yeah, it's cold and wet, which makes it even worse. Sorry. I should fire that camera guy. I don't know what the hell he's thinking. Anyway, so I'm in the bus. I went and got parts for the air dryer, the desiccant cartridge, which filters out moisture and oil and particulates out of the airline for the air brakes and the accessories, air accessories. And I have no idea when that's done. I determined that the purge valve, which when the system reaches 120 psi, it will release the excess so it doesn't go beyond that. And that valve, it's on the air dryer, it does not completely close. It'll vent and then it's got this continuing to like leak air. So it should just, when it hits that threshold of 120 psi, it should open and release the air up, to a certain point and then close. So that's not happening. So I got that, and I got the cartridge for the desiccant, and I need to take that apart, but I don't want to be on the ground under the bus working in this weather. I just can't quite bring myself to do it because it's cold. My hands are cold even in here. So I'm doing other stuff, I think, today and tomorrow. The last piece of the shower. Just dry fitting it, and it's gonna go in. So the shower is ready to be waterproofed. I'm also working on drawing and planning out the box to mount the battery in so that I can get some power going. If I get some power going, I could have at least one decent heater working, if not both. So That would be nice. So I'm gonna see what I can do here and keep pushing on. The new Jeep is great. I like that a lot. Feels good. It's nice to drive. It's definitely a much more substantial vehicle than the Kia, and higher up, it's going to be good. So I think that was a good choice to push through on that. And I'm going to have some plastic that goes over this, covers the window and seals that part. And then we have sheet metal going on the ceiling, make the curve here. But I needed to get the walls in first, and so it's gonna be small, but it's gonna be nice. How much time do you need? How much space do you need in the shower anyway, right? So, backside, you can get some insulation in there before it gets paneled, which is probably not going to happen given the state of the mechanicals and the rest of the bus right now. And we have basically 7 days left to go, so too much. Everybody, it's almost 11 o'clock. I think it's day 6 or day 5. I don't even know. And I just found this manual to install the hot water heater for the bus. This is what was in the bus when we got it. And I'm reading here on page 14, installation instructions. Number 2, preparation. Only use in outdoor areas. Carbon monoxide hazard. Using this appliance in an enclosed space will cause death. Do not use in caravans, tents, marine craft, cars, mobile homes, or similar locations. And this was installed in the luggage bay of the bus with no venting whatsoever. Absolutely zero. No holes anywhere to vent anything. So I thought I was going to mount this back in the bus and connect it up tomorrow, but I don't think so. Yeah, that's so dangerous. Like, the top vent of this water heater is only maybe 12 inches away from plywood subfloor of the bus. So, yeah. That's how things are going. This is, I don't even remember. Did a lot of cleaning, organizing, sorting stuff, getting ready to move stuff into the bus. Today, got some tools moved around. I got, it's just one thing after another. It's always like, just go to put the toolbox together in the luggage bay so I can organize tools and get them just, out of the chaos. And the top of the toolbox, eventually I'm going to mount it on slides, but to do that takes too long right now with this crazy deadline of getting out of here. So I shifted gears. Like, okay, I'm not mounting it on slides. I'm going to just set it in the bus and secure it. And the lid opens enough at the top for me to get in, get tools out of the top, use the space. It does not open completely while it's inside the bus. Well, if the lid doesn't open completely, then all the drawers in the toolbox are unlocked. There's lever locks in the back. When you open the lid of the toolbox, it unlocks the drawers. Now, so I had to take the pins out of those hinge mechanisms that attach the locks to the lid. It's just a small example of how things are going. Anyway, that's it for now. I need to eat. I'm hungry.